The HomeTech podcast is supported by you. To find out more, go to HomeTech.fm/support.
This is the HomeTech podcast for Friday, November 20th. From Denver, Colorado, I'm Jason Griffin.
And from Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson. Jason, I got a big surprise.
What you got?
Well,
'tis the season.
It's actually a mini surprise.
Oh, look at that. Very
Yeah.
orb-like.
It's a lot smaller than I thought. So this is the Apple HomePod Mini.
All right.
It comes in a box.
Have you had a chance to kick the tires yet?
I have turned it on and listened to some music coming out of it, and promptly turned it right back off.
Is that a review?
That's my review so far. Yeah. Well, it works as expected. Sets up just as quickly as you like. It pairs with your phone. Probably takes 2 taps to set up and it's ready to go. So that wasn't bad. But I'm kind of used to that because I have the regular sized HomePods here, and like side by side, there's just no comparison. And the audio sound of the big home. I mean, it's a $200. It was a $300 product. I think they've lowered it to $250, and you can generally pick them up around $200 now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no comparison. Like it's beyond night and day difference between.
So you're saying spend the extra $100
$100.
That's the verdict so far.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. Now, maybe for a nightstand or something, this would be nice to have. I might try it out.
Right, or like something in the bathroom, like the master bath or something. Yeah,
it's a lot smaller. I don't know if you saw that. It's a lot smaller than I thought.
Yeah, it is pretty small.
Here is I don't know if this helps. Here's a tiny Yeti cup for scale. No, that's not helpful. Oh, here we go.
Looks like what? Maybe it looks like about maybe a tennis ball.
So look, I got a bell here for scale.
There's the bell. Okay. Gotta blow the dust off of that thing.
I thought it would be about the size of a softball, but it's a little bit smaller than that. It's probably a little bit bigger than a normal size baseball, if that makes any sense.
All right.
But definitely bigger than a tennis ball. But tennis balls being the only balls, like I'm not familiar with the size of a baseball, or softball, so it could be the exact same size as a softball. I have no idea. So going by my rough approximation of what a tennis ball, it was smaller than I thought it was. Let's just say that. But the sound out of it isn't all that great, especially compared to the big one. But I think it does serve its purpose. It does work. If you're just wanting to kind of put your toes into the water and see what HomePod does, I think it's still overpriced because there's not much that HomePod does right now. It will be nice, I think, in the future. Like the intercom stuff that they've come out with is pretty nice. I have used that on occasion a couple of times to freak my wife out by intercomming here into the garage when she's in here. But other than that, like using it for like home audio, not home audio, home automation stuff, like the Siri kicking off the stuff with HomeKit, that works really well so far. So I can't attest to this thing. Like I can't say that it's a great price for the audio that you get out of it. It's not like a revolutionary product there, but it's not bad either. It's not the you remember the old hockey puck style Amazon Echo?
Yeah. Yep.
Better than that. So it sounds better than that. Echo has gone through a couple of revisions, and I have not personally heard those in any frequency anytime soon. So like I can't attest to like how they compare to that.
Sure.
But I would say it sounds better than the cheapest possible Amazon Echo that I've ever heard in my life. Like that was the giveaway stocking stuffer for a couple of years. It sounds better than that, but I think that was like a $20 or $30 product too. So.
All right. Well, the early verdict is in then, if you're in the Apple ecosystem. Oh, what do we have here? Is this the Wyze? No. Remind me which one that is.
So this is a new, I got 2 little packages in this week. This is a Unify G4 doorbell.
Okay.
It's got the camera, the doorbell button, has a little screen that says hello on it. I don't know if that's how that could possibly be useful because the screen is like so small I could barely even read it sitting here. And it's got, what I thought was nice on these is it has a little light on the bottom that shines down as you approach. I haven't installed this thing yet. So I as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to go drill a couple holes and put it in. Guess what, Jason? The back of these things aren't the same across doorbell devices. So you kind of have to, drill more holes in your wall.
Fun.
Yeah. Haven't had a chance.
Yeah. Christmas came early at your house, Seth. Lots of goodies. You'll have to let us know how that one goes.
Yeah. I can't wait to test that one out. It should work all right. But, so far a day of listening to music on the HomePod Mini has been meh. It's okay. I would much rather crank up the big HomePods.
Yeah. I mean, and if you can get your hands on one for a couple $100, you sort of amortize that out over the period of time that you're going to have it. That extra $100 is not a big leap, but still, like you said, relative to other options on the market, it's quite a bit more. So I think Apple is, still continuing to bank on that. Apple's not going to play the price game. They're not going to race to zero. They're going to play the premium angle, and I certainly don't fault them for it, but yeah, there's a lot of cheaper options out there.
This does have there's the Thread, or not Thread, but the whatever Zigbee version of Thread of Chip, whatever they're calling Chip. I guess it'll be Chip, Thread, Zigbee. I don't know what is going to be built into this. So I don't think that's in the big HomePod. So we'll have to see. If it is, I'm just going to return this.
Yeah,
and get rid of it. But if not, I might keep it around. I'll stick it off in a corner in a bedroom, or maybe even in a bathroom, just to kind of have
there you go,
an extra little device for an alarm or something like that.
A couple comments from Robert here in the chat room. I think he says this screen on that doorbell that you got says you can put tiny stupid text messages on the screen. So that's interesting. And then
they would never notice, right?
Yeah. and then here's another one. Entire internet / YouTube. HomePod Mini is awesome. Seth. Meh.
I don't know what they're seeing out of this thing. I really don't.
Seth's taking the contrarian position here.
I guess I didn't actually see any reviews on it, to be quite honest. It's the only thing I can say that I was genuinely tickled with was how small it was. And of course, when you get an Apple product, it comes in these vacuum sealed boxes that they have. They're not actually vacuum sealed, but they're so tight. Yeah. You kind of have to like shake it to get it to come out.
Yeah.
And as I was shaking it, it got towards the end of I can't even open it anymore. It's sealed itself. The Mini kind of like rolled out across the floor because I dropped it. So there could be something wrong with mine.
Well, stay out of the unboxing video business, Seth. Doesn't sound like you're cut out for it.
No. I was thinking I should just get a razor knife and just open the nice, pretty Apple box.
I know, they make their packaging so pretty.
Oh man, it's pretty, but man, do they ever? The tolerances on those are so tight.
Yeah.
It's like, it reminds me of when I was trying to put like racks inside of cabinets, and I would tell the cabinet guy, I'd be like, oh yeah, the rack is 19 inches wide. And I'd get there and it would be like it would be exactly 19 inches wide. There would be no room to have any wide, like zip tie or anything sticking out. Like, he made it 19 inches wide. That's it. That's all you get.
You got to come in with a higher opening position.
Yeah. No, I learned that trick pretty quickly. Like, especially on the depth, like adding at least 3 or 4 inches for wire.
Yeah.
And they would freak out. Oh my gosh, you need that.
Oh, they never got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Seth, you and me this week, we have no guests lined up. We got a busy news week, some big headlines. What do you say we jump in?
Let's do it. Charlie Kindel out. Greg Simmons in. SnapAV has announced a number of notable personnel moves impacting various sectors of its business, as well as increased investment in its product development and 5 centers of excellence. Among SnapAV personnel changes, the company is saying goodbye to Charlie Kindel and hello to Greg Simmons. Kindel, the architect of the Amazon Alexa smart home initiative, who was hired by Control4 in August 2018, 2 years ago, is going to leave the company for other opportunities after serving as Chief Product and Technology Officer. So a little bit of time at Control4, a little bit of time at SnapAV. Yeah. And Charlie Kindel takes the bow out, and Greg Simmons, sounds like Greg is kind of taking over that role.
Well, yeah, Greg is actually coming into, I would say, a different role, more industry relationships. So Simmons will join as the Vice President of Industry Partnerships. It says he brings lots of experience from the integrator side, quote here from the story. Greg has a long history in CEDIA and home security industries, having led one of the largest integrators, Eagle Sentry, for many years prior to its sale in 2018. So he'll be really leading up more industry partnerships. The promotion internal of G. Paul Hess is going to move into that chief product officer. And congrats to G. Paul. I know he's been on the show before and listens occasionally. So G. Paul, if you're listening, congrats on the promotion there. I'm sure he'll do a great job. G. Paul is somebody who's really come up through the ranks of the industry, started as an integrator and has moved now up to the chief product officer at SnapAV. So that's quite the ascent. And I know G. Paul fairly well, and I think he's going to do a great job in there. So some other internal promotions as well, but obviously one of the big headlines here that you led with is Charlie Kindel moving out after not a very long stint here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was brought in with Control 4. I mean, we've had conversations with him about that process, and I don't know, there's been enough press around him, but I think at least in this particular instance, I am more excited about G. Paul getting involved with moving to the chief product officer than I, was about Charlie Kindel. I mean, Charlie was a good for Control 4 to kind of have like the name and the name recognition and kind of almost like a validation that, somebody with his pedigree would go to Control 4, on the pro side. Yeah. But I think at least in our industry and then what our industry needs and what SnapAV needs is somebody with, in field industry experience to make the products that we all love and love to install. And I think it's a great move to have somebody come up in. I'm not saying that there aren't those people already that were reporting to Charlie Kindel, but I think the person at the head of that organization should be somebody who's put in some time in the field. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't argue. I had great things to say about G. Paul from everything I know about him, but I differ from you a bit in the sense that I think this feels like a loss to the industry for me. I know that I've some people in circles that I've communicated with following the news don't seem as surprised and kind of echo similar sentiments to what you said. Ultimately, I feel like Charlie was a really, coming in with the experience he had from a more consumer focused side like Amazon and the, like you said, kind of the credibility or the visibility that he brought to our little niche industry here, I thought was a good thing. I was excited to see what he was going to be able to do at SnapAV, and so I was personally very, very surprised by this news. I know that others weren't as so surprised, and I won't speculate as to the reasons of why he's leaving or what he's going to pursue, but I'll only speak my opinion that this feels like a lost opportunity for the industry. I was really excited to see what might happen with Charlie there at the helm of that product organization for, at least a few years. So we'll see. Obviously, wish Charlie the best on his next endeavors, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet. No doubt about that. But yeah, these are some big moves for SnapAV, who continues to really be aggressive in their pursuit of pushing the industry forward.
Yeah, I will echo my curiosity. It's like, what is Charlie's next move? I will be curious as to where he lands. But yeah, I think he leaves in the SnapAV organization in good hands.
Yeah, no question. Speaking of industry personnel moves, media server maker Kaleidescape has announced that Tayloe Stansbury has been appointed as the new chief executive officer. Stansbury succeeds China Srinivasan, who served as a CEO since 2014. He will remain with Kaleidescape as a founder and executive vice president focused on alliances and business development, including movie studio relationships. In addition, Norma Garcia Muro has joined Mountain View, California-based Kaleidescape as the vice president of marketing. So a couple of big personnel hiring moves here from Kaleidescape.
Yeah. I mean, I don't follow the Kaleidescape world anymore. I know that there are people out there who absolutely love this product. And every time I can't say that I'm not one of them who has walked through the show floor and said, wow, that looks really good. Oh, it's Kaleidescape. Of course it does. But I think this particular product has been handed, the worst of the worst market to enter, with everybody moving to super powerful little streaming devices or TVs that have, the ability to download and play 4K video directly in them. that arguably is not the marketplace that these guys are trying to play in. This is, this works great in fancy theaters to yachts and that kind of thing. So I am not up to what they will be doing with this company, but man, this is interesting. And it seems like the only time we ever talk about the Kaleidescape is when the CEO changes or they announce they are going out of business or something. Like remember that they went like briefly, they were like,
yeah, they did. And then they were revived or rescued, or I'm not even sure what the appropriate word is there. Eddie's in the chat room. I know Eddie actually sent us this story before I had seen it on CE Pro, and Eddie I know has in the chat room here says Kaleidescape needs this infusion of talent. If not, they're going to disappear. I agree. I'm with you, Seth. I haven't been following Kaleidescape very closely, but they've really got a tough road to hoe in front of them, given everything that you cited. I won't be repetitive there. We'll just add on to that to say, like, well, first of all, they're bringing in some highly pedigreed talent here. Stansberry has a background as a CEO of some big companies, or a CEO of a company called Watermark Insights, rather, but a CTO of Intuit, executive vice president of product and operations at Ariba. And then Garcia Muro has a really impressive background. She's an entertainment industry background. It said she was integral to the launch of Dolby Cinema worldwide. Her previous posts include head of international marketing at Lucasfilm, where she oversaw strategy and positioning for Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises, and as a director at Paramount Pictures Home Entertainment. So she's really coming in with a lot of experience on the entertainment industry side. And I think, can only speculate here, but Kaleidescape's got to really be thinking about what can they do to, like you alluded to, continue pushing into that high-end market and do things differently. And that's a infinitely easier thing to say than it is to do. Streaming has become a really, really tough market. So yeah, if anyone's listening and is more familiar with what Kaleidescape's really kind of strategy is translating to at the ground level, I'd love to hear from our listeners on this one. I'm frankly not sure what to make of Kaleidescape's process, or of Kaleidescape's prospects here for success.
When Kaleidescape first started out, there was a product that you could get a little small box with a DVD drive in it. You'd stick the DVD in it, and it would rip that to a hard drive, or many hard drives, as many of my customers that I would come across had these larger systems that would have like a RAID array fail on them, and we'd have to ship it off to Kaleidescape. Would find out, like, it back then storage wasn't cheap. The discs were, when you rip them, were very large, and they've only gotten larger with Blu-ray and Ultra Blu-ray. But at that time, like, Hollywood was not, let's say, open to working with this type of product. And I wonder now if the winds have changed so much with the high success of streaming and like these use cases, that people understand, oh no, I'm on a yacht, there's no streaming to be had out there. Like, I wonder if these studios would be more open to companies like Kaleidescape. And I really hope that they'll be able to do more in that rental space, or new movie space where they're downloading and installing movies directly from the studio, basically, onto their hard drives. It seems like that technology side of that's already figured out, and it has been for a long time, but the business side hasn't been. So that's where I hope that someone like that has studio experience, like Garcia Muro, she can come in and take care of the relationships that need to be taken care of on the entertainment side.
Yeah,
that would be interesting to see where this all goes.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you alluded to kind of the business side of this, and I would say that they've even got headwinds there. On the technology side, we've talked about everything that's happened, but there was a story just this week that Universal Pictures has forged a new partnership with Cinemark to make, theatrical exclusivity shorter, basically, is the long and the short of this. And with everything going on with COVID and the quarantine, that's no surprise, right? They're shortening that, and they're trying to get movies into the streaming market sooner because lots of people aren't going to the theater. And so they've even got headwinds there in terms of, like a year or 18 months ago, we could have sat here and speculated, well, maybe there's some play for Kaleidescape to really carve out special deals to get access to the streaming content faster than others. But it seems like everything is starting to move in that direction as well.
Right.
So even that's going to be a hard area to differentiate in, I feel like.
Yeah. It's always good to have somebody that has been like director at Paramount Pictures. Like it's always good to have somebody who has those contents in those, who to call, like who do you call at Paramount, or the contacts and the nuanced understanding of how deals get done and all of that, for sure. It's good to have somebody on the payroll that can help with those kind of deals, and I think that's probably that's a really good thing that she's joined. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And again, closing out on a positive note, like you said at the beginning, I know there are a lot of people out there that love this product. It's got a niche following, and so it'll be an interesting story to watch and see what they're able to do under this new leadership. Well, a week after launching a smart vacuum cleaner that we fawned over, Seattle-based Wyze Labs is unveiling another new product to help keep the grass green outside. Wyze Sprinkler Controller is a smart sprinkler system that allows homeowners to sync their watering system to local weather forecasts, control scheduling and types of watering across 8 zones through the Wyze app, and more. The device is now available for pre-order for, drumroll please, $49.99. There you go. Now that's on brand. Oh my gosh. And there's if you want the advanced like weather data stuff, kind of like the stuff that Ratio cuts its teeth on inside their product. I think it's like a $10. Yeah, it's $10 a year. It hooks up with it syncs up with 60,000 weather stations across the US, and that first year is included in that $49 price. So really it's a $39 product with a $10 subscription slapped onto it. This is crazy. It is crazy. The story here that we are reading from GeekWire talks a little bit about, there's some interesting things in here about the company that I thought were kind of a good recap. It said originally known for its Wyze Cam, the 3-year-old hardware startup now offers 13 core products. Has been busy late with a flurry of new releases. We've talked about those. Company closed out a $15 million funding round at the end of July, and continues to expand. Just for comparison's sake, the Ratio, which you mentioned, sells for $229. So they have come out with a lower cost one recently. Yeah, but it breaks under that. I want to say it's $150. I don't know. It's a little bit. It's not $49. I can tell you that. Yeah. It's not $49. This is new territory for any kind of device. I think you can go to Home Depot and buy just a dumb sprinkler controller for $49. Right. That's a good point. So it is. They also mentioned a runner-up, another like sprinkler system, the Orbit Beehive. Mm-hmm. Haven't heard of that one, but sells for $149. Yep. So anyways, they're way low here. He says, quote from Mike Saboski, the product manager, innovations in smart technology for lawn care are few and far between, and those that do exist are increasingly expensive. So I would just hate to be a manufacturer basically in any category that Wyze enters at this point. Right. Because they're not just going to undercut you. They are going to cripple you, not at the ankles. They're going to go straight for your legs. Like that's it. The whole leg is going to be missing. Wow. It's brutal. But yeah, I don't know, man. I still am scratching my head. Like there's just no way that they're making any money on this. I mean, maybe that's my big question. It's like, okay, if they're not making money, like this is one of those companies like, yeah, $50, I could throw $50 at it. $10 a year. If this company goes out of business, there's going to be a whole lot of these little devices out there that, don't look up to anything anymore. Yeah. And people are going to get upset, but at the same time, it's like the investment is so low compared to getting a Ratio 3 for $229 or Orbit Beehive for $149, or just even getting just a normal sprinkler. I mean, I was looking at these the other day to get just a regular plain Jane sprinkler system. I think it's like $79 at Home Depot from what I remember. So like, this is a smart one. It hooks up to weather stations and can kind of do like the magic that Ratio does. Maybe, who knows? $50. That's a no brainer. Like, I may as well just buy. This may be a purchase number 3 for me here. No, it doesn't ship till January, but
I feel like we need to. There needs to be like a game show where it's like, what will Wyze produce next?
Can take bets.
Something's telling me like toaster oven.
They're all over the place.
They are. It's fascinating. Moving on from there, Hulu with live TV is the latest virtual TV bundle to get a price hike, this time up to $64.99 a month. Hulu with live TV currently costs $54.99, so $10 price hike. This is an increase for current customers, according to The Hollywood Reporter. This brings it on par with YouTube TV, a competing virtual live TV bundle. The price change will go into effect on December 18th and affect both new and current customers. A lot of this going on this year.
Yeah, and this isn't, I mean, Hulu, we talked about them into the end of last year, going from like $45 up to $54. Now they're going to $65. We're approaching, well, we have approached in many cases, if you're having one of these live TV subscription services, over the top type services and you have to include your internet with that, right? Because these services don't come with internet. They are approaching pretty much what it would cost is, to have a cable bill. You're not paying for equipment rentals and all the crazy stuff you did. If you go a traditional route and get like a Comcast box or AT&T box, and they make you pay $20 a month for their stupid box that breaks all the time, but with no IR codes, that love that.
Get that one in there.
Yeah, I mean, just how many years of dealing with the discrete codes, they're gone. You have to use just power cable.
Who needs those?
Pesky things. But yeah, we're approaching like just actual cable the cost of actually having a cable subscription with many of these products.
Yeah.
YouTube, same thing.
Yeah. With all that said, looks like the service is having a good run here. It says they got over more than 4 million subscribers. It's approximately 1 million more than YouTube TV, according to this article. And the article also says that the bundle has seen a 40% increase in subscribers over the last year. So I know that Disney is really, making a big bet on their streaming ecosystem. That, of course, includes Disney Plus and ESPN, and Hulu's part of that. So I know these offerings are really important to the company's future, and they're going to continue to develop them. But yeah, it just feels to me like the pricing where all of these things were at like a year or two ago just wasn't. It was fake. It was like artificial. Like it was a land grab, and everyone was just trying to get people to sign up. And now what we're seeing is like the prices adjust to really what it takes to make these services more sustainable, which is ironically on par with cable, which is what everyone wanted to get away from. So here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we could get away from the idea that you have to have those live TV channels, like the home cooking shows and those kind of things, people like those, but those channels don't pay for themselves very well. Actually, I think the sports channels don't pay for themselves. It's all the other ones that they can bundle in actually help pay for the sports channels. But it's like this was a massive industry that was already well dug in, had how it makes money figured out, and all of a sudden technology kind of started to interfere with it. And we had a few years of disruption. And like you said, now we're just coming full circle, and we're back at paying cable bill pricing.
Yep.
Womp womp.
Oh, the irony. At least you still have more choice, I feel like now. Like it's more modular now in my mind. If you look macro, like if you look at an individual package like Hulu, it's still very similar in price and content to a cable package, sure. But like zooming out and looking at the whole landscape, you can still put together a pretty diverse offering that's more suited to your own personal tastes than you might have gotten with a cable bundle.
I will agree with that. Yeah. I will agree with that because I can personally not have live TV because I don't care about it. But
Right.
I can have Netflix, I can have Disney Plus for the next 3 or 4 years, whatever we paid for that. And then I can have like what's really nice is I can have a service like HBO. A few months ago, we decided there isn't really anything new on HBO. We're just going to turn it off. And when something else comes on, we may flip the switch and turn that back on and start watching it again. So like I can turn Hulu on and off, HBO on and off as I need to when shows come out that I want to see on them. And I think that is having that flexibility is a lot more than what you got from cable companies because you'd have to call, go through the phone tree, talk to a representative, threaten to cancel, change your plan. It was just such a headache.
Yeah.
This does make that a lot easier where you can literally just go online and just, hey, pause my service, cancel my service, and then pick it back up whenever you want to.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, speaking of subscription services, Sonos has debuted Sonos Radio HD, a new ad-free, high-definition streaming tier of its streaming radio service, Sonos Radio. Sonos Radio HD will feature even more exclusive content directly in the Sonos app, now in lossless CD-quality audio. Sonos's avid radio fans can now listen to Sonos Radio HD to explore exclusive genre stations, sounds for sleep and relaxation, and more in-depth artist content. Sonos Radio HD streams ad-free with skips and repeats. Available, I was just thinking, if I wanted sleep and relaxation radio, not having like a car sales ad in it would probably be pretty good.
What, that doesn't help you sleep?
No, not really.
Big Mike's Ford?
Yeah. Come on down to the circle. It's all available in the Sonos S2 app in the US and UK with additional countries to follow. Customers can subscribe to Sonos Radio HD at Sonos.com for $8 a month or £8 a month after a free 1-month try.
Interesting.
Trial.
Sonos came out with this Sonos Radio earlier this year, if memory serves, and that's been out for a little while now. I'm not sure how that's doing for the company, but seems like a natural progression. Not sure how many people. I just always like when it comes to the audio quality, I just have no idea like what the size of the market is for that because all of my anecdotal experience, and I have zero data to back this up, but all of my anecdotal experience when I was an integrator was that the vast majority of people were quite all right with medium sound quality. Like they didn't want it to sound terrible, but they weren't necessarily looking to spend extra money to have it sound good. Now, of course, there are people out there who do want the high quality. And I'm sure that's not a small number, but ultimately, is it a big enough number to make this like an attractive business prospect for a company the size of Sonos? I don't know. That's just a question. I'm curious about it. I have no idea. But beyond that, I mean, it looks interesting. I know some of the conversations we were having when they came out with Sonos Radio earlier this year were really that offering felt a little bit like there wasn't a lot there to sink your teeth into that you couldn't get on like TuneIn, for example. But they've got a lot of exclusive stations on here, and maybe some of this will be attractive to others. So kind of deeper exploration into genres. They've got kind of I would describe them almost as like thematic stations. Things like let's see, what do they have here? Music for physical and mental benefits, mindfulness, productivity, relaxation, things of that nature. So nothing terribly new there. I mean, similar to genre stations, and we've seen that on streaming services before, but it'll be interesting. Seems like the biggest differentiator here is the higher audio quality. And again, I don't have a great sense for how many, what portion of people are willing to shell out $8 a month to get that.
Yeah, I really think this is going to be after they get everything in place, this is going to be a commercial play and they'll have their own $20 per month or $25 per month. Which used to be called Muzak, but now it's called Mood Audio or whatever, subscription service. And you can just go down and buy there's already a half dozen of those apps or services built into the Sonos already. If you are doing commercial audio, like you can already subscribe to a few of them. Yeah, I think Mood is even in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're probably just going to make a play for that money that they see people.
That's an interesting prospects.
there would be more money, and they can manage the music rights and all that good stuff, and just kind of have it all in one app. I feel sorry for the guys that are already in the Sonos device itself and having to compete, with a tier one, level, the manufacturer of the product. But, without having your own player, you're kind of reliant on somebody else anyway.
Yeah. It's building on a shaky foundation there, but that is an interesting prospect, because obviously the financials make sense. And then from the customer side, like from the business owner who's ever looking to have music in their, boutique or restaurant or whatever it is, like the Sonos app and the ease of use is all great. And they don't want to be, futzing around with a bunch of different apps and things of that nature. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Once they get all this put together, they can figure it out. There are a couple of companies out there that kind of specialize in this kind of thing and doing commercial streaming audio. And you can even get connected with some of them that will actually make your business a custom stream, so to speak, with your own custom playlists and everything in it. So not that the technology is really hard or amazing, but back when I was working at Muzak, it was kind of all the Carrabba's had their own little stream coming from a satellite, and that was a little bit harder to do than it is to just stream something over the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, all of the topics we've discussed in our show this week can be found in our show notes at HomeTech.fm/328. While you're there, don't forget to sign up for our weekly newsletter. We'll send you show reminders and other occasional updates about all the great things going on here in the wonderful world of home technology. Once again, that link is HomeTech.fm/328.
Hey, don't forget, you can join us live in the chat room starting on Wednesdays, starting sometime between 7 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find out more how to do that at HomeTech.fm/live.
All right, Seth, moving right into the pick of the week this week. What you got?
I ran across this. So I use Channels. It's a channel. It's a little app that you can run on iOS. I think they have expanded out also to running on other devices. Like you can run it on Android. You can now run it on Fire TV. And they have been pushing for a little while now a DVR service that you can kind of, I think you have to pay a little bit more for it, maybe per month. But it always involved setting up a NAS drive, or setting up something on your computer, a share or something to record what you wanted to, off the air onto one of these, onto the hard drive or something. And Channels has made it super easy with a custom Raspberry Pi image, and you could set up a DVR in 5 minutes. They have made their own little basically card that you would stick into the Raspberry Pi, and for I don't know what, $35, a hard drive or a USB drive on the outside of it, you can have your own little Channels DVR. I thought this was a great idea, kind of cool. A low cost way of doing this, and yeah, I mean under $100 for sure, you could have a decent NVR or DVR for your over-the-air cable recording.
Yeah. No, I like that. Those Raspberry Pis, they're really just impressive little devices. I haven't played with them a lot myself, but I just think it's so cool how flexible they are and inexpensive, and just seeing all of the different things that people come up with, ways to use these is pretty neat stuff. So yeah, this is a good find. I know here at our house, we're still using the Tableau to record our over-the-air stuff, and it's been working well for us. But yeah, if you need an option to record those over-the-air channels, this seems to be a good bet.
Yeah, it does require I think it requires the Channels Plus. You get the whole home DVR and streaming streaming premium channels, a bunch of other stuff that you can get in on this. It costs $8 a month and $80 a year after 1 month free trial. So I don't know. It's a really cool app. It's a really good app for what it does. It's been hard to find software like this that revolved around TV and that kind of thing. And this developer has done a really good job of putting together just your basic TV app where you can go in and watch shows that you want to watch. It works with I forget the HomePage, whatever it is. I can't remember it's a German name. But you buy one of these tuners separately, and then hook it up to this device, and it just goes.
Got it. Well, there you go. Good find. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the week, or ideas for a show topic or guest, give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm. Once again, that is feedback@HomeTech.fm.
Yep. We want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about our Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out on the show, but every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day for conversations around home technology. Man, I don't know. It's been kind of quiet in there. I don't know. It's kind of quiet lately. Get in there. I'm going to get in there and start stirring something up. So,
yeah, I was going to say, you got to go stir the pot a little bit.
Robert posted a bunch of fan remotes earlier today.
It sounds like you could just go in there and talk about how much you dislike your HomePod Mini.
I could do that. Anytime I don't want to talk about this thing. I don't know. Yeah.
There you go. And if you're looking for other ways to support the show, take a minute to leave us a positive review on iTunes or in your podcast app of choice. Those reviews definitely help more people find the show. So if you enjoy what we do here at the HomeTech Podcast, please take a minute to leave us a review. We would really appreciate it.
Yep. Well, Jason, that wraps up another week in home technology news. What got any big plans for the weekend? Or I guess next weekend is the big holiday weekend.
Yeah, no, nothing too big this weekend. I was hoping to maybe get out and do some fly fishing, but I'm not sure the weather is gonna cooperate. So we'll have to see. And then Thanksgiving's right around the corner. So I know we'll be getting together next week to do our annual Black Friday holiday gift guide unofficially. So that's right around the corner.
We'll have to dig hard and find some deals. There was a sweet deal that was today only. So if you're listening to the show live, you guys in the live chat, there was a the Ring doorbell was like $70. Ring doorbell 2, it was $70 or something like that. It's today only, so probably all gone. But I thought that was a crazy good deal. It was like $70 off. Usually $140.
You could go buy 2 Wyze doorbell cams for that. Just saying.
You could buy a Wyze doorbell cam. And then you can also buy a Wyze camera and probably a sprinkler controller for that, right? I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Load up the cart, baby.
Right. I guess not for $69, but yeah.
All right, good stuff. Well, Seth, I hope you have a great weekend.
All right, man. Have a good weekend.
Take care.